Hello, everybody. It's me, Roscoe, and welcome to another edition of the Kings of Anglia Track the Girls Talk podcast. And of course, that is proudly sponsored by. I'm going to do that again. That was dreadful.
All good.
Good. Let's go. Right. That's just between you and me, by the way. The viewers and listeners won't know.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Sounds good.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody. It's me, Roscoe, and welcome to another edition of the Kings of Anglia Track the Girls Talk podcast, which is proudly sponsored by John Fowler Solicitors. Big up Mark Kennedy and the team over there for their continued support. And today is a breaking podcast because I'm not going to be joined by a co-host. I've scrapped that. Blue left me and I've decided I can't replace her. So I'm just going to be joined by a special guest every episode. And today I'm joined by an award-winning flying fullback in Maisy Barker. Maisy, it's great to have you on. How's things?
Yeah, all good, thank you. Thanks for having me. Just excited to have a little chat about how the season's gone so far, and yeah, excited to be here.
Yeah, looking forward to it, Maisy. It's a nice little chin wag with you to talk about your season as a whole, obviously the Oxford defeat, and then also look ahead to the Charlton game in the FA Cup. Maisy, let's get started then with you as a player, as a person. I always like to know someone's background in football.
Yeah.
How did you get into it? Was it family? How does it start?
It's not those typical stories where I'm playing football in the park with my brother. Do you know what? I was just a young kid with a lot of energy. So my aunt would bring me to pretty much every single sports class that there was, like street dancing, cricket, netball, rugby, everything. And I just started playing football and I just really enjoyed it. And then started playing for my local team, AFC Wembley, which obviously was a team of boys, which I just loved so much. Like I love being the only girl there. Like I just felt kind of special, you know, because the boys, like they all thought that playing with a girl, like it was a bit of a disadvantage. But yeah, I just loved it, to be fair. And then after that, I shortly went to Middlesex. We was an RTC back in the day. I was there for 4 years. Got scouted to go to there, which was my first experience of girls football, playing with girls all across the country for this team. I was there for 4 years until, unfortunately, it folded. And then I needed to find a new challenge. So I went to Oxford RTC at the time, was there for a season, which was really good. And then, after that, joined Chelsea, and I was there for 3 years. Obviously, really enjoyed my time there, learned a lot of stuff. Made some really good friends, played under some really good coaches. And then after Chelsea, I was 17, turning 18, and I just wanted a challenge. I wanted to play first team football. I wanted to kind of be exposed to a level that was harder than academy football. I made the decision to go to West Ham and be with the first team there. My time at West Ham was really fun, really good. Played under 3 or 4 managers, but I learned a lot from each of the managers. They all really helped me develop as a person, as a player. And although my time at West Ham was obviously not the best in terms of football, because obviously I had really, really tough injuries, but I made my WSL debut. I made my County Cup debut, my FA Cup debut. I'm so grateful for the time there. And I'd like to think I left West Ham as a really developed character. I went there as a kid, and now I feel like the way I see football and life is more mature, and just really grateful for the experiences there, and I wouldn't change anything for the world. And now, I'm at Ipswich.
Yeah, I want to quickly just talk about, your debut for West Ham, because to play in the Super League, I'm sure that was a dream come true. That's what you want to do. Take you back to that. Unfortunately, it was a defeat against Man City, but that must have been a day you always remember.
Yeah, no, of course. I think the nerves were crazy. I was so nervous. I'd literally just come back from quite a big injury with my hamstring. I just think it's a moment I've obviously been working for my whole life, and I went on against Man City, and it was tough, to say the least. Getting used to playing in such an intense game. Obviously, the WSL was obviously getting bigger and better. But to play against the big dogs of Man City, playing against Georgia Stanway, playing against Lauren Hemp, it was just an eye opener to think I'm not at the level now, but I know I'm striving to get there, because yeah, like I said, it was just an amazing experience to play with some world-class players on my team and just to learn from them, and yeah, just to trust in the manager to play me. But yeah, no, it's just like you said, a moment that I'll always remember.
Yeah, and unfortunately, as you mentioned, you had some injuries, and that's always hard for a young player.
Yeah,
Obviously, this season you've been playing week in, week out. Is that been one of your positives this season? So knowing you can play full 90 minutes and stuff like that.
I think, yeah, I think the last 6 months for me has been probably the most happiest I've been ever in football, because I've never been fit for such a prolonged period. I've always had dips and injuries in playing for a club. So yeah, to know and to trust in my body that I can put performances in for 90 minutes, and just all the hard work that I've put in to get to where I am, because it wasn't easy, but I met some really good people along the way that helped me with my rehab. Um, and yeah, just so grateful, and then it's just such a humbling experience, and it just makes you realize like you can never take anything for granted. And yeah, just enjoy every day as it comes, and don't look too much into the future.
And have you always been a fullback? Has that always been your position, or like anybody you play everywhere when you're younger, and you just then set yourself at a
Yeah.
position you want to play?
Yeah. So when I was a kid playing with the boys, I was a number 8, kind of midfielder, winger. I just got the ball and run with it and just tried to score, really, like any youngster does, really. And then when I went into Middlesex, my coach said, "Look, Maisy, we think we can like form you into to be a really attacking right back." And at the time, I was like, "No, like I want to score goals, I want to get assists." And then actually developed me as a player. Like it really did allow me to show my defensive attributes as well as flying up and down the wing using my pace. So yeah, I was as a kid, I wouldn't even say I played any position. I just wanted the ball and I wanted to score. But now, yeah, I just think obviously going through going through the England age groups, playing for Chelsea, playing fullback, I'm just very comfortable in that position. And yeah, like I said, it just allows me to really just use the flank as much as I can.
Yeah, and you mentioned England. What was that like playing for your country? I know you actually played with some of the town players in your squad. Now your teammates now. So what was that like playing for England?
Yeah, obviously I went from the 15s to the 19s, and it was amazing. Like the professionalism there was so good. When we went to the Euros, it was a moment that, again, just another special moment I'll never forget ever. Competing against the best teams as youngsters, Germany, America, all of that stuff. So yeah, I think it really just helped me focus and know that if I work hard, then anything's possible. And yeah, playing with some world class players who are really thriving at the moment, the likes of May Letizia and Katie Robinson. Yeah, like it was just really fun. We all come together from different clubs, and we all just wanted to work hard and play against the best teams in our age group. And like you said, working with some of the Ipswich players. Me and EK pretty much grew up together from the 15s until the 19s. I missed maybe a year or so because of my hip injury. But yeah, like when I was on camp, it made me see how the Ipswich girls were, and they all loved the club so much. And I think probably that's one of the things that attracted me to come to the club, because they all work so hard for the club and they all love the club so much. And I thought that's something I really want to be a part of. I want to be a part of a homely club, a club that really wants to invest in their players. And I've seen that through the likes of EK, Kyra, Boz, Peskett. Like they've all come through the development, all played with them in England. And yeah, it just made me realise like I want to be a part of a team so strong and so connected.
How did that sort of segues nicely there, Maisy? I think you know what you're doing here. How did the move come about then? Did you know much about Joe? And obviously you probably knew about Ipswich because obviously we played West Ham
Yeah.
in the FA Cup, and of course we lost 1-0, of course live on Sky, not live on BBC on TV. But yeah, how's the move come about?
So obviously, the choice to leave West Ham, I needed to hopefully push to get minutes, and be in an environment where I could learn and develop, because being out for so long, you kind of obviously lose. I've lost 2 years of football development, and I wanted to go to a team where I could really focus on developing and focus on trying to help the team as much as I can, and hopefully given a chance to play and stuff. And yeah, like you said, I've known of Joe for a while, because when I was at Chelsea, when I was 16, we always used to play Ipswich at the training ground. And even when I used to go to the training ground, I used to think, wow, the facilities are incredible. And Ipswich were always a team that as Chelsea, we can not struggle to play against, but it was a harder game for us. We had to prepare and really think about how we was going to play them because the style of play was really hard to play against. So that obviously stayed in my mind. And like I said, I knew Joe from playing against him. Obviously, I recognised his face, etc. So yeah, like leaving West Ham, I wanted that experience. So it was obviously just speaking to a few clubs, and the feeling I got from Joe and from Ipswich and from all the coaching staff that I spoke to, it kind of just felt like everything happened for a reason at this point, and this is where I was meant to be. It felt really homely. And yeah, it was kind of like a non-negotiable. Like I really wanted to come here, and when obviously the opportunity was there, I couldn't really say no, and I was just really excited to get started.
And it seemed you settled in really well as well. Obviously, pre-season is always the best time. I felt like it was probably the hottest pre-season we've ever had because I just remember rocking up to, and also it was raining as well a lot of the time. Yeah. I remember some of the games, it was always really, really hot. Obviously, the summer is hot. But what was that like settling in? And I remember turning up to training sessions, taking some pictures, and I'm like, it's raining again. Why is it raining?
I know. This English weather just don't make sense, does it? Do you know what? This pre-season, it was a weird one for me because I hadn't participated in a full pre-season for like 3 years. So yeah, it was physically hard. My body was kind of still getting used to playing games. At the point when I moved to Ipswich, I'd only played 80 minutes of the game. I hadn't hit the full 90 just yet. So yeah, it was more of a chance for my body to get used to the demands of the training schedule and playing games, obviously regularly, because we had a game in pre-season every weekend, which was really lovely. But yeah, no, it was so good. It was so good to get to know the girls, and like you said, I fitted in, and I feel really comfortable here, and I feel like I've been here forever.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously the team is so together. But who would you sort of say sort of helped you settle? Obviously, you knew some of the players already, but is anybody you went straight away and went, oh, I really got on with you?
The whole team, to be fair, it's a team that I've never been in before. Like the team camaraderie is unbelievable. Everybody kind of just took me in and was always friendly. Obviously, I drive down with Megan and Holly at the time, so obviously them two obviously spoke about training and me getting used to the club and stuff, and they was obviously really helpful with the travelling. And yeah, like you said, I knew the players from England, so I think that really helped me settle in because I wasn't as nervous to meet new people, because obviously that is always a thing when you go to a new club. And I knew obviously some of the girls from England, so yeah, I just felt really comfortable really quick, and yeah, just got on with the girls like house on fire.
Yeah, that's one thing I like to see, just the camaraderie and just the team chemistry right now, and just everyone's bonded together and all doing it for each other, which is great to see. And big shout out to Megan. Obviously, unfortunately, she's got her injury at the moment, so speedy recovery to Meg. But yeah, what's that been like traveling down, to Ipswich? We're traveling up, of course. We're going up to Ipswich, over where you guys live. But yeah, what's that been like? And who's in charge of the radio? Is anybody the music? Is it always a mixture?
Do you know what? Music-wise, Meg, I'm quite lucky because Meg doesn't listen to much music, so I kind of just put what I want on and she's just chilling to it. So music-wise, I'm in control all the time, which is stunning. But yeah, no, the journey's a lot easier when you're with someone else because you just talk for the whole time. And like I said, me and Meg really get on. She's a really lovely girl. We kind of think quite the same football-wise, so we obviously just have endless chats about football, which is obviously really, really good to do. But yeah, no, she's a really good character, and obviously, like you said, unfortunately she's injured, but she's working hard behind the scenes to get back, and she really cares and she really understands what she needs to do. So I'm excited for her comeback. Yeah, great person, great player. So yeah,
definitely. Good. Yeah, speedy recovery to Meg, and look forward to seeing her back in action. Let's sort of then talk Maisy, about the season as a whole. 14 appearances for you so far, playing week in, week out. How do you look back at your season so far? A few disappointing results here and there, but some good wins as well, some good away trips. How would you sort of review your season?
I think the season so far has gone well. For me personally, I think, like I said, I'm just so happy to be playing regular football. And hopefully week by week, I'm getting more comfortable and really getting back to the player that I used to be. And I'm feeling confident at the moment, and I feel like I'm getting to that point. There's a long way to go, but I think yeah, there's only positives, and I'm really grateful for the coaching staff and Joe for kind of allowing me to express the way I play, and yeah, they've really helped me personally. And as a team, I think the season's gone good. Like the football that we're playing is really good. We're a very ball playing team, and we like to dominate possession, and that's something that I really enjoy. And yeah, we've all took to it, and we're all playing well together, which is obviously a really good sign. And obviously, we've had some disappointing results, but majority of the time, I think we've always been the better team, and we're all still young. We're all still trying to develop. But yeah, we obviously want to win every game that we play. We go into it knowing that we need to dominate the ball and win all of our battles. So yeah, I think there's been some real positives. There's obviously some places that we can all improve on, and as a team we can obviously grind out to get those results on another day. But yeah, overall feeling really positive and just really happy with the football that we're playing. So yeah.
And yourself, player of the month for December. 2 games, very good games, obviously, and that must be happy about that. You know, fans had to vote for it, and they voted you for the player of the month. Obviously, Tash was winning it. I think she won it 3 months in a row, but you're the one who took it away from her, and you won that award.
Yeah, obviously it's a nice feeling. Gives me that extra bit of confidence, I guess, because yeah, like I said, coming back from an injury is always hard. Like, because people think sometimes the rehab is the hardest part, but sometimes actually playing football is the hardest part, because you get frustrated with performances if you're not playing the way that you used to play. But like I said, I think I'm just really understanding my role 100% now, and I'm really excited to just keep pushing on and hopefully have performances like the December games, and keep pushing on and being confident, dominating my flank and doing all I can to help Pesk and Lennar and the front line really exceeding in scoring goals and stuff. So yeah, I'm really proud of it, because it's taken a long time to get to where I am now, and yeah, I'm just really happy.
I'm not just saying this because you're on my podcast right now, but I've been really impressed by you, Maisy, the last few months. I'm not saying I wasn't impressed with you when you first signed in your first few games, but from the last few months, I just wait and just see what you can do, and I've just been really impressed. So keep up the good work. Now I'm going to have to put you down a little bit, because it's Maisy versus the mini goal. You put it out on your social. If you haven't seen it, I don't know if it's still there, because I don't know if that's just a story. But Maisy, take us back. Training session, mini goal, and you fell over it.
Do you know what? I think in training there's always seems to be this thing that I'm just falling over things that are not even there sometimes, or like getting hit in the face by the ball, but like not even getting hit in the face, but acting like I've literally just been taken out. With that mini goal, I was just really determined to scan and jockey and try and get back to defend, and I didn't even know it was there. It was so embarrassing. Like, I was so shocked, and I just laid on the floor for about 10 seconds, and I thought, this is recorded. Like, you can't get away with anything these days because everything's recorded. So yeah, I just think, I wouldn't say I'm dramatic, but I'm a little bit dramatic, and I don't know. Yeah, I just think, obviously I posted it because I thought it was quite funny, and yeah, this stuff happens. But yeah, I would say I'm on the dramatic side, but it's all funny, isn't it? Because it is what it is, isn't it?
Are you clumsy? Because I'm a clumsy man. I drop things, and I sometimes trip over things. But would you say you're a clumsy person?
Yeah, I lose everything. I break everything. I spill every drink. I drop everything. Yeah, I'm very clumsy. It's actually frustrating sometimes, but it's what it is.
I'm sure you're not going to be able to live that down for that many guys. You said that it was part of the training session. Everyone saw it, and I'm sure everyone was laughing. Was that a moment in your head, like thinking, I hope that like the recording like broke? I hope it didn't record, and you're like, but unfortunately that was straight away. Everyone wanted, I want to see it. I want to see it.
Yeah, do you know what? I'm not going to lie to you. At least one thing happens a training session with me. So it's not like I don't want to see it. I'm actually excited to see it, because I just think, how have I got myself into that situation? Like, some of the girls at training always shout at me saying, stop being so dramatic. But it just, like, I'm not even trying to be dramatic. Like, it's probably harder to be as dramatic as I am than just to react normal. But yeah, I always look at it back, because I just want to think, like, what was I thinking? Like, what's going on? Like,
I think the good thing is, I don't think you've done anything in a game though, have you? I don't think there's been a moment, or has there? Has
Yeah,
there?
there's been a few, but I ain't posted them on the socials because
Yeah.
it's a bit embarrassing sometimes.
Yeah. I think there was one moment where I think it was actually your debut against Cardiff, and this was actually more of like a tackle on you. I thought that was a bit.
Yeah.
Remember that one?
Yeah, I remember I was, do you know what it was? I was driving with the ball and the ball kind of come out of my control a little bit, but I thought I could run past the girl. So I've run into the fence of the fence, and I've like tried to like grapple the fence to like keep me going because I was slowly falling. And yeah, I just tumbled it and really hurt myself. So yeah, shouldn't have done that.
No, but yeah, I know why I can just remember that because I think I was right in front of it.
Yeah.
I was like, "Mate, you okay?" And you're
I
okay.
just yeah, it's just unnecessary. Like I don't know why I do it, but
Yeah.
yeah, it just comes natural.
Yeah, I think that's why your teammates love you, and that's why I'm sure the fans would love you even more now, and all that sort of stuff. How's that been as well? We always mention on the podcast, we always shout out the fans, but what's that been like playing in front of really good crowds, and also after the game? All the signatures you got girls have to do now from young girl supporters, boy supporters, even
Yeah.
just everyone of all ages. What's that been like?
Yeah, like from the game when obviously I was at West Ham and we played Ipswich, the amount of fans Ipswich got for that game, I was like, wow, like this atmosphere is amazing. So as soon as I signed, I was so excited to play in front of the fans because just the atmosphere and the aura around it. So yeah, as soon as obviously we started playing at the AGL and getting 500 plus fans, and I just think it's the first time in my career really that I've played in front of fans, and it just it gives you that extra push because you hear them in the crowd and they're chanting a team, sometimes chanting your name or chanting your teammate's name, and you just think, wow, like we've got to do it for ourselves and the club, but also for the fans because they're taking their time out of their day to come and watch us, and they're really putting their heart and soul into supporting us. And seeing the little girls and the little boys after the game, it's like this is what we do it for. Like when I was growing up, it was quite hard to have those role models in football because it was less accessible. And for example, social media, we didn't see it as much. And to now think that these young players and footballers wanna be like us one day, it kind of just it makes you feel really grateful and just to let them know that if you work hard and you've got the right mindset and you need to do what you need to do, then it's possible to become a player and to have fans like this. And yeah, it's just an amazing feeling, to be honest with you.
And I don't know if the town fans have got a chant for you just yet, but we'll find out. I'm sure they're going to create one, and look forward to that, definitely. Well, let's segue then, Maisy, onto the Oxford defeat, the start 2024 at the AJ Arena. A wet, cold afternoon. What was that like as players, sort of warming up in that? And obviously there was a pitch inspection, so we were like, "Oh, will the game be on?" Obviously it was on. Obviously you had to train outside the ground and came back in, but what was that like to prepare in that sort of conditions?
It was difficult. Both teams are in the same scenario, so there's no excuses in that aspect. But yeah, it was hard. It was really, really cold. We had a few players that were coming on with an illness because of the weather. The pitch was really hard to kind of play our football on it because of the surface and it being so wet and stodgy. And it was quite hard to stop. I know it sounds silly, but because the pitch was so soft, to decel was quite hard because at one point my foot was literally in the ground. So yeah, it was hard, and it was really cold. It was probably the coldest game that we've had so far. But yeah, all round a tough day. But I think we took to the weather quite nicely. We was playing well. We dominated the game. But yeah, unfortunately, obviously the goal come, and I think something happened with the pitch. A couple slips here and there, which is obviously unfortunate. But yeah, we dominated the game, and the game that we feel like we should have took the advantage on.
Yeah, of course. This was going on to, we beat Lewis before Christmas break. A fantastic 3-0 win. And going into this game, I felt we used a lot of that performance into this one. And obviously you can only do what you can do with the pitch. Chances, we always create chances, don't we, Maisy? You're part of those chances. But I just felt we needed some maybe more cutting edge, I think. But sometimes when you take a shot, it's different to a normal day because of the pitch and stuff like that. But maybe the cutting edge was just needed a little bit more.
Yeah, I think we as a team, we've obviously reflected and we know that we could have been more clinical on the day. Sometimes you just have one of those days that it's just not going to work out for you, which is obviously really, really frustrating. But yeah, like you said, we created a lot of chances and we followed on for the Lewis game. We all had passion, we all had heart, and we was playing some really good football. But yeah, in this league, we know that teams can punish us if we're not clinical, and obviously Oxford were more clinical than us. Even though we played really good football and dominated the game, they were more clinical and they won the game, which is obviously really unfortunate. But it's just something that we can learn on. Every game is, even if we win, we lose, we draw, we have to go back to the drawing board and think, yeah, we might have played really good football, but we need to be more clinical. And if we can put those two together, then we'd be flying. So yeah, we're doing well, but obviously there's some stuff that we can work on as a team together.
Yeah, because I think we were definitely mainly on top for most of the game. You know, it was a competitive game end to end. I think every time we play Oxford, it's always a competitive game. Obviously, they had a player sent off, and now it's always hard to play against 10 men or 10 players.
Yeah.
But what's that like sometimes playing against them? And I think they actually played differently to what we were maybe expecting in terms of when they went to down to 10. I think we were probably thinking they were going to sit back, but they went for it, didn't they?
Yeah, it was a weird one. After they got the red card, it was almost like they went up a gear. They were really pressing us hard. They were really active. They were really energetic, which you think maybe a team wouldn't be if they go down to 10 men. But yeah, maybe we didn't react too well for it to be in 10 men, and they was on top for a little while of the game, and obviously that's when the goal was scored. But yeah, Oxford are a good team. They've got some really good players. But yeah, like I said, I think we matched that. But we just obviously wasn't good enough to potentially score the winning goal or the goals that we needed to win the game.
Yeah, and I think that it's been sort of basically announced as snatch and grab in a way because it felt like that, didn't it? And the goal they scored, as you said, it was unfortunately a bit of a slip, and you can't, in those conditions it happens, don't they? And it's a goal. I'm sure the defence, as you guys will look back and go, we couldn't really do much about it.
Yeah, I think as any goal comes, I think there's obviously the slip that happened, but prior to that, the build up, and I think there's always, no matter where the goal comes from, whether it's a free kick, whether it's a corner, whether it's a moment of magic for the other team, I think every goal is, not every goal, 99% of goals are preventable. And as a team, we're very understandable that it's not just one, it's the whole team. If a goal goes in, it's the whole team's fault in a way, because we could all help in some capacity. So yeah, I mean, obviously as a backline, we like to keep clean sheets, but it's more so as a team because the defense starts from the attack with the attacking players pressing. So yeah, it's just something that we can work on as a whole team. And yeah, very unfortunate, but we have to move on. We've got a big second half of the season ahead.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Evie got sent off, which you look back and go, oh, did she get did she get Zoe or not? But it's one of those things. But what was that like? Seeing Evie after the game, and one thing, a big shout out to all the players who were not involved, but they went straight in to support her. But how was she after that?
Yeah, Evie's a really good character. She's obviously very young, so something that she can learn off. She was adamant that she didn't touch her. So we'll see what happens with that situation. But yeah, like I said, she was only trying to help for the team. She was trying to prevent a goal, recovering back. I'm not sure exactly what happened, so I can't really comment on that. But she'll bounce back. She's already bounced back. She's looking sharp. Training on Tuesday. She's doing well. So yeah, something she can learn off. But yeah, this stuff happens in football when you're so dedicated and so passionate for the team. Some small things can happen, and listen, it is what it is, and we learn from it. So she'll be fine. She, like I said, she's reacted well, and yeah, she's got a good head on her, so she knows what is needed to do now, innit?
Yeah, definitely. She's been fantastic, for a young age, for her to play week in, week out, and recently, of course, coming in for Meg. So, yeah, big shout out to you, Evie. Do not worry. We're all behind you and be back for the next few games. Let's talk then about, just sadly, the defeat as a whole, full-time whistle hits. And obviously, all of you girls are devastated. We all know what that could mean in terms of the end of the season result. But what was sort of said in that huddle, from what you can say with Joe, but obviously it's just a lot of positives because performance-wise, I thought we played well.
Yeah, it's a tough one to take. It's like I said, a game that we think that we should be getting 3 points off. Like you said, like we could almost fall into the thing of knowing what it could do for the season, but we can't think like that because we know that as a team we're good enough to play in the higher division and we play good football. So we've just got to all keep our heads and know that now we need to do everything that we can do to do what we can. We've still got loads of games left of the season that we needed to play well and perform and get the points with. It obviously is really frustrating, and after the game, personally, I was gutted. But it's one game, and if we let that game determine the rest of the season, then we'll put ourselves in a worse position. I think in football wise, we're really gelling, we're really playing good football. So I think in that way, we're really confident that we can beat any team on our day. But yeah, I just think it's just a turning point now. We need to really push on. We need to work together. We need to stay together, most importantly, and we'll get the results that we need to get and see what happens because we all back us as a team. We know that the coaches back us, the club itself backs us. So yeah, obviously there's a few negatives, but it's just a click now. We need to get to that next level.
Indeed, and of course we switch our focus to the FA Cup, and of course a competition we love, and obviously we've got that fantastic result against Lewis, and we then drew Charlton in the fourth round at AGL Arena, which is always good. 1 p.m. kickoff. They're second in the Championship, Maisy. This is a game I'm sure we're excited to be involved in. Going to be a tough game, but should be a really interesting one as well.
Yeah, I think as a team, like I said, because we're striving to play in that league. We obviously played some Championship teams in pre-season, like Charlton and Crystal Palace, and putting some really good performances against them. And we was a new team. And like you said, the Lewis game, we really played well. We dominated a game against a Championship team, scored some bangers, scored 3 really good goals. And yeah, I just think obviously beating a Championship team like Lewis a couple of weeks ago, and now going into another game with a champ team, I think we really thrive against big teams, and because we really like to play football, we're a ball playing team, I think it really works in our favour. But yeah, we obviously back ourselves. We know that we're good enough to play teams like this. Obviously we need to show up on a day. And yeah, just like I said, we've got a really young, exciting team, and I think we all know that we all want to play at that level. So now it's time for us to show what players individually we can do. But as a team to know, yeah, we can play against these big teams, and yeah, it'll be a very tough challenge. But games like that is games like these is what we play football for. We like playing in the big games. FA Cup's magical. You never know what's going to happen, and I think yeah, we're just really confident and going into the game with so much excitement because hopefully we get a good level of crowd. And yeah, just FA Cup's so magical, and obviously, like you said, we've done well so far. So hopefully, we can just really perform on a day and just really show that what we can do.
Yeah, and Charlton, yeah, they're a very good team, as it said, second in the champ. They're unbeaten since October. They beat Bournemouth 6-0 in the last round, so loads of goals there. Do you know much about the Charlton team? Any players that you've maybe played up against before, or even maybe been teammates with?
Yeah, I know 3 or 4 of the players there. I know Kate Longhurst obviously was at West Ham together. Great person, great player. So it'll be good to play against her. And yeah, it'll be not a bit weird, but because when I was young at West Ham, 17, 18, she really helped me. And to now be playing against her is just, yeah, it's just amazing, really, personally. And my best mate just signed for them yesterday on loan, Mel Phillis. So it'll be good to play against her. We played together at West Ham, Chelsea, England. So I know her game inside out. So yeah, hopefully that gives us a bit of an advantage. And yeah, I know a few of the girls from the old age groups in England, and yeah, some very good players. Yeah, hopefully on the day we just win our battles, and I'm confident.
Yeah, and there's a fun fact actually against Charlton. Back in 2018, we played them in the FA Cup. Unfortunately, we lost that game 5-2 after extra time, but we were a fourth-tier side, and of course, Charlton, I think, were a second-tier Championship side. I think Tash played in that game because that's how long she's been here, since 2018, and we took them to extra time when we were a fourth-tier side. Now we're a third-tier side, doing well, and they're currently, of course, doing well as well. But it should be a very entertaining game. Maisy, big question. When do you reckon we'll see your first goal? You've had a few moments, obviously, as your position. It's always difficult maybe to get in that position to score, but there's been a few flashes, isn't there?
Yeah, do you know what? In that pre-season game when I scored, I thought, yeah, this is the season to bag some goals. But yeah, I've had a few chances. I've missed quite a few sitters. I'm not gonna lie to you. I should have scored about 3 goals so far, but it's coming. My relationships with the wingers, obviously, hopefully, get some goals this season, but I'm feeling confident. Maybe this Sunday I'm feeling something. Maybe this Sunday I might pull one out of the bag.
You never know. Because Cara did it against Lewis. She took, I think 60 games for her first goal for Town, and she actually scores an absolute banger. So maybe same with you, Maisy. You got a celebration in mind if you do ever score?
No, do you know what? Because I don't score often. I'd probably just run over to the person who assisted me, but I've promised Kieran that I'll scream Vamos because all the Spanish players, and it looks quite cool. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. Probably in the moment, I'll have so much adrenaline that I'll probably just run over to you to try and get a celebration photo. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll just see. We'll see what happens in the moment.
Definitely. And 1 p.m. kickoff at the AJ Arena. Pack it out, ladies and gentlemen. Get down there, support the girls. Should be a really good game. Bring it on. Well, Maisy, it's been a pleasure. Thanks so much for joining me. Any other business? Anything else we should know? Anything else you want to shout out yourself?
No, I think we've covered everything. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. It's been good to have a catch-up chat with you, and hopefully by the end of the season we're all flying and we get what we need to get.
Indeed, Maisy. It's been a pleasure. Thanks so much for joining me. Enjoy training in the cold as we were chatting up there. It's December, because last month, how was it in terms of training? Because it's December, you think it's really freezing, but it wasn't as cold as it is now. The temperature's dropped, hasn't it?
Yeah, last month it was fine. Like, we was in shorts and a top and I was sweating, but what was the day? On Tuesday it was different. It just felt like this is really winter now. Like, my hands were numb, my feet were numb. But yeah, I'm not excited for the winter. I can't lie, I'm not excited for it.
No, yeah. Warm up, everybody, for the AJ Arena. Get yourself wrapped up, and but it should hopefully be heated up with the excitement of the game. So bring it on. Thanks, Maisy, again for joining me. Thanks everyone for listening. Of course, big shout out to our sponsors, John Fowler's solicitors, for their continued support, Mark Kennedy and Co. And we'll be back for an episode very soon. Of course, no Blue. Blue is gone. Obviously we always will. She's alive. She's fine, but she's not on the podcast anymore. But I'll be joined by a special guest every week. So we'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.
Thank you.